G'day everybody. Frustration. Went through, did everything this morning, tested it on a backup YouTube and a backup Facebook, but the second I go live to my accounts, it's, for some reason, it won't pick up the charts and it won't pick up my audio. We tested it, it should have worked, I didn't change anything. There's some, I don't know, I might have to, and I'm on the laptop again here because I'm getting a new hard drive, getting my computer cleaned up, sorted out as I do. So I'm recording it now. I will still commentate things exactly the same way as normal, and I will endeavor to give as much detail as possible, as of course you're not there to ask questions. Okay, so Bitcoin. Yeah, consolidation time, right? Good thing. It can be seen as a very good thing, and I'll tell you why. If you are familiar with the Bitcoin breakout strategy, it's all about that pressure cooker vibe, you know? Like, as more pressure grows and grows and grows, the steam comes out and away, shoots up to the ceiling. Now, that's what I'm hoping to see here with Bitcoin. Now, let's just put that in a perspective. That's a bullish sentiment, a bullish thing to look for. However, we've also got to have a look at our weekly here, because the rest of the market's been pretty slow along with Bitcoin. We'll find some options in a minute as to exactly what is out there. But look at Bitcoin here. This is the weekly chart, and we've moved the last couple of weeks a wee bit, not a huge amount, but the moving averages are catching up. It's not quite as extended. It's still extended, but not as far. So look, a pullback. Where if we were to get a pullback, realistically, where could we go to based on this cradle zone? Of course, we could go anywhere. This is a market. There's no real rules to what the market does. There's just rules to how we approach the market. You got 14,000 at the lower side of the cradle zone, 16.3 at the upper side. So somewhere around 15 to 14, something like that could certainly be on the cards. Now, what would be a sign for me, I suppose, to start to look for shorts and have conditions for which I could short him? That would be coming down to something like the 12, if not the daily. And what that would be we get a little lower high here. Look, lower high 1, lower high 2. If we break down through this low here, we'll have a lower high and a lower low. I'd want to see some conviction with that trend, and I'd want to see the cyclicity on the 4 hour also, like Tarzan swinging along the branches. That's the other side of that. So yeah, we can't always just look at the market in a bullish sentiment. We've also got to be realistic and read what the chart's telling us. At the moment, it's telling us that it's telling me there's a little bit of a consolidation and potentially we'll be ready to shoot up. But there's also the case to be built for further downside, for which I just gave you what I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and have a look at the full FTX list here. Now, there will be some contracts that I do not have in here at this stage. And the reason for that is really just simply because there might not be enough data on them yet, like Stellar Lumens, for example. Contract, 100% can't wait to get my hands into and trade. I just need a bit more data on the chart so I can use that better, use it the way I'd like to use it. So we're going to Ethereum here, and again, Ethereum very much sideways, not too much going on. The weekly, once again, it is extended from the averages, not majorly, but back into 500, thereabouts would be certainly on the cards. Same thing. With that cyclicity or with that choppiness in here, that messiness, there's not really too much of an option for me at the moment until I get better cyclicity. And with Ethereum, we do have a lower high, lower low. We do have a little bit of a trend. It's not enough for me. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. Still trying to get over it from last week, actually. It's not really the strongest trend. So again, I'll revert back to the 12 hour here. If it breaks down through this level, what's that low? 56131. Lower high, then a lower low. Then I've got something that I can really sort of start to sink my teeth into a little bit more. But if you look at it there on that 4 hour mid time frame, it's this is not conducive of high probability momentum trading, and that's what I do. It's all to do with momentum. If the market's lacking momentum, well, you either step back or you find where it is, and it's not on Ethereum, nor is it on Cardano right now. You might look at this and go, well, hang on a sec, lower high, lower low, cradle right there. You can short that, sure. Let's look at the 8. Just crossed over, very, very light downtrend. But again, my risk appetite at the moment, after having a fantastic November, is not, it's not, I guess it's not that high. As a trader that does this all the time, there's a time for which, and this is a hard lesson for people to learn. Maybe you're learning at the moment. When times are really, really good, and like they have been, and there's lots of trades, lots of opportunity, and you're making money, and it's like, yes, and then it goes into a consolidation, sometimes you can get caught out by continuing to try and relive that move, relive that experience that you had the week before or the 2 weeks before or whatever it may be. When in actual fact, you should always see everything for what it is when it is there or when it is not. In this case, this is not a trend that I'm satisfied in. I'm not looking to have high risk positions, and I don't mean percentage multiple risk. I mean, the market's lacking strong direction at the moment for the most part, but there are options out there, and we will find them. Again, a very choppy chart here on Algorand, not one that I'm very interested in at all. Alt perp, very much the same. Very choppy, not much cyclicity, nothing really to be that excited about or to work with. With Cosmos, we've got some support down here, as you can see, marked here. Support. Look, it's building into there. Realistically, though, oops. Let's have a look. Look, it's so far away from being anything legit right now that I'm just going to leave it. Don't forget what we're looking for. Rule number 1, good, strong trend. Bitcoin Cash is just a pile of... Check it out. We're on top of the upper side of the this consolidation that we've been sitting in for quite some time. Come on, move. There you go. Good place for it to bounce from, but until it gives me any sign of that, it's going to be a no. From this man, again, just to show you... oh, I'm sorry. Just to show you what not to trade from the way I teach and my teachings and whatnot. It's this. Look at this. Very, very average. Not very nice at all. Binance. Well, what I just showed you is what you got right here. Now, as much as there is a little wee bit of support in there, there's also support down here. Not exact. It's not great, but it is there. And again, this trend's not confirmed to me. So I've just got it as a reference point. Potentially, if at all, a little breakdown and a pullback into that region for a little cradle or a boost or something like that. But it's not. It certainly ain't on the top of my radar, and it's not going in the list. Neither is BSV. Look at this chop. No. Yuck. BitMax. It's been moving. The only problem I've got with BitMax is really, see these big spiky candles? Those sorts of things. Have a look at it on the 1 hour. Oh, it's a bit touch and go. If you look at it on the 15, it's a little bit thin. See this? This means that there's no trades really, or not much trading going on throughout these periods, and that can cause you to get slippage, and I'll be avoiding that. Slippage is not something that I like. As much as there's a lovely trend here, it's not a chart for me at the moment, just due to the fact that it needs to get a little bit more interest from the market to increase that liquidity to allow me to get position sizes on, not just me, but all of us. Doge, sideways, leaving that drag on. And that's why you're seeing the top of my head a lot more, is because I'm getting my PC reconfigured. Not reconfigured, but just, it's always good to do a cleanup every now and again. And it's that time of year, so I'm getting it done. So here I am on a laptop, nothing on Dragon. It's, in all honesty, on the daily, look, it could change fast. On the daily, I've got to see it push up at least above this level, preferably above this level. Look at the weekly. It's not saying too much. That's a big spike. It's just, there's a time to go long, there's a time to go short, and there's a time to go fishing, as the great man once said, Jesse Livermore. There you go. A man of my, I don't know what the word was, I was going to say flavour, but that's not it. Elk? No? Anyway. See, if I was doing this live, you could help me out with this stuff. Oh, how painful it is. Anyhow, Ethereum Classic. Very sideways, choppy again. Exchange perp. Starting. High or low, high, or ever so briefly. High or low, another very close to. Let's go lower and see here, righto? Little bullet pull back into there. Look, I'm actually going to put that in, and I'm going to make it the pretty little yellow colour that we're going to work with. Because if this was to push on a bit more, if it was to extend itself a little bit more, we've got good convergence down here on the MACD, as you can see here. And you know, it moves away a bit more than pullbacks into that cradle zone could certainly be something that would entice me, as that 4 hours now got the moving averages in the right order. So that's the first that goes in the list. It's got more work to do though. Wow. How you doing, Orby? Let's have a sticky peek at this on the, I'll get rid of that level, that's no longer valid. Okay, so the daily trend is not really supporting this at the minute, and it's got to simmer down a little bit. Leo. Leo's another one where there's just not much activity throughout the day. You look at this little bullish candle, and I did this morning. There is a higher low, there is a higher high, there is a pullback. But again, you come down to these lower time frames, and it's just lacking a little bit, you know? Until there's more activity on this contract, it's not going to be one that I really focus on too much. I do, however, keep it in my list. Excuse me. Just so that if it does change, I've got it. Okay, link average, very sideways. Litecoin, whoops. Also, what are you doing? Litecoin is also a little bit average there. No sign of good lower highs, or sorry, higher lows or lower highs yet. Matic is also sideways, mid perp. For me, mid perp's got to break above that level there, 1027. We get above there, and we will then have a higher low and a higher high. If we can do that, great. It's not going in the list because it does have a fair bit of work to do. Now, don't forget that these markets can move very, very quickly, and therefore we can go from okay, there's not too much to be working on here, to holy mackerel, we've got heaps to be watching, and that's what we're at the moment. I do feel there's a move coming. Is it going to be north? Is it going to be south? I don't know. All I ask for is good, strong cyclicity. As a trader that can go long or short, of course, trading perpetual contracts with FTX, we've got that easy. We just need that direction. Obviously, I'd prefer it to go higher. I mean, it's a wonderful space to be in, especially when it's going up. Everyone's happy, much nicer to each other, and you know, we all make money whether you're trading or not. But the reality is, if it does fall, I'll be there. I'll be trading that short. I've just got to find that cyclicity, and I just don't have it anywhere around here at the moment for the time being. Okay, shit perp. Here's one I do like. Let's start from the daily. We break above this level here. We've got ourselves back into an uptrend with a higher low, very similar to that of was it Exchange? No, I think it might have been mid perp, but we're much closer here. And here's what I'm looking at right now. Now I know that most of you have gone through the cradle, at least when I did it with FTX. For those that haven't got access to the rest of the course, the breakout, you won't know it. However, if it pushes above and pulls back into here, yes, you can trade cradles and boosters, right? I like the level. There is a bit of a break here. I'd like to see this consolidate. If I am to take a breakout, I want to see it come back up, retest, pull away again. I want to see more consensus around that level. Currently, I've got test 1, test 2. If I'm to really take this trade here, it has to at least test once more. Preferably twice more, so I can ignore that little bee's dick there. Otherwise, I'd have to enter as it breaks the high of that based on the rules of my trading strategies. We are a bit divergent, but we're flat at the moment. So it's got to come back up into here. It is in my list, and it will remain there. Again, just one on the radar. It could pop, and if it pops, it's the pullback that I'm on the hunt for. Tomo. Right on. Daily wise, it's got to break above this high to get that higher low to higher high. Let's look at the 12 hour. That might show some more signs of life. A little higher low there. Certainly some momentum coming into it at the moment. Let's have a look lower. Jump straight to the 1 hour, I think. Yeah, there you go. All right. Ooh. Resistance 1, 2, 3. So we've got resistance there, which could offer an opportunity on a pullback. This has only just recently happened. Yes. Well, 1 or 2 hour, I'm not too bothered. If it moves away further or it slows down, I don't mind if it's the 2 or the 1. Both moving averages are in the correct order. I actually quite like that. Yeah. I shall be keeping an eye on that this evening. Although, you know, to be honest with you, I don't trade when I'm not feeling well. Didn't trade yesterday. I haven't actually missed too much. I've had this cold for a while, and I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, so I've been pretty good this year. Touch wood. But Yeah, it just sort of got me at the end of the year, and you combine that with a cold, it just knocks you for six. So I've been a bit exhausted of late, and I know that it's not a good time for me to trade. So when I'm like that, I tend to just take a bit of a back seat. I'm still involved. I just don't pull the trigger. Nothing there on Tron. You got to be good when you're trading, and if you're not good, you're not trading. There's nothing really here on XRP, although it is holding its ground right here quite nicely. Look at the weekly. I mean, don't forget. What a doozy those 2 weeks were, right? And it's holding. Will it pull back? Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, the market is just working that little back, and we're about to go and not lose it. And it's going to jump out of the water, and it's going to be a little black marlin. Because if it does that, we're good to go. And many of these trends are more set for a kick up. Momentum wise, bigger picture, then a move lower. So I'm hopeful to see that occur. It just makes the trading a bit easier, and as I say, everyone's happier when markets are moving higher. Priv perp, let's have a sticky big here. You can see not much yesterday, not much so far today. Excuse me. Just zoom out a bit, higher, low, higher, high, pulling back. So we're in the right position for it to move. We've retested that old high. Let's just keep an eye on this, see if there's a little level down here. Higher highs coming through, low. It's not really got me. A good drive higher though. A good drive higher from here, and we're back in business. It wouldn't take much to sort of pique my interest in Priv perp, high, low, high. It's just got to clear out of this little consolidation range, extend itself a bit further, and then I'll be happy on the first pullback. Okay, Theta Network. Well, as you can see here on the daily, we do have somewhat of a support region, and we also have somewhat of a resistance region. It is in a bit of a rangy, consolidation-y type thingy. What I'd like to see is a break above this high, giving us a higher low and a higher high. But because it's not there yet, it's not really something that's on my radar. And if I went to the 12-hour, you see this little pullback here. Again, there's just too much potential for resistance to slow that move down. I'm not interested right now. DeFi. I'm just going to mark that as a reference point. It's not an exact level, but we clearly have to clear that level before we clearly get cyclicity and can clearly take some clear trades. I'll clearly mark it in here as well. Nothing for now, but reference point. This is what I do when there's nothing there to really be focusing on trading wise. I do a little homework, I call it. Get your reference points in, find your support and resistance levels, because it could be that these levels become tradable down the track. And if the whole market goes kaboom at the same time, it's nice to have those real quick visuals. So as you're scanning through the list and you do it faster and faster with experience, they just trigger your attention. Gotcha. I'm going to continue to focus on this. That's what I use them for. Comp. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted. This nearly made my morning list on live trading floor. High, low, high. Let's just go to that 4 again. Higher, low, higher, high trend has begun. Just a rough region here. I pull back into there. That will be fine. I like it. Let's look at the 8 though. Might be a bit divergent. No, it's not. Look at the 4 again. 4 is flat. Oh, that looks quite good too, doesn't it? 2 is good. Look, I don't know if I'd go the 2 or the 4. I'll wait and see what happens here, but that looks like it might be a 50% fib in there, or maybe a little bit more, 61.8 perhaps. Right smack bang in the middle. Yeah, all right. There's no trade there yet, but there's a level and there is a trend, and that's the beginning. That is the beginning. Kyber. Messy, flat, sideways. No thanks. No. Sideways. Gold. Gold, where are you on the weekly? Yeah, you've pulled back a bit deep. Oh, poor Peter. The vet. the V-Chainosaurus. Okay, could be something here. High, hello, we've pushed to a higher high. Look, it's not the nicest of trends, but it is there. You can see it on the 12 with these higher lows and higher highs. This could be a pullback opportunity. Let's go ahead and have a look at that. We're going to have to go lower than 4. I'm suspecting maybe the 2. It's all right. That candle there. Yeah. There is cyclicity. There are higher lows. There are higher highs. Look, I'd make a judgment call if it pulls back and gives me a bullish candle. It will go in the list. I will keep an eye on that. It's not to say I'm going to trade it. It's something I will keep an eye on. Dot. Very sideways. Dot is not for me, although maybe. Again, though, you know, it's a reference point at best right now. Why? Why not anything else? There's no confirmed trend. It's meandering, and I'm not that keen on meandering charts. If it breaks down through here, however, it will have a lower high. Let me just reconsider that and work away from the daily, because it's not absolutely required for a breakout on the lower time frames. It's convergent. So far, so good. Yeah. I might be changing my mind here. I like the lower high here. I like how it's retested. We've got test 1, call it, test 2. I know there are 2 separate. You probably call it 2, but I want to have at least another one. If there was a lower high over here, oh, we're breaking 5. It's $5 as well. There's a round number. It's already convergent. Now, if I were to take a trade here as a short, here's what I would do. Because the market isn't super confirmed in its direction right now, it's as we've seen, it is quite rangy, it is quite choppy. It would certainly be something that I'd decrease my percentage risk, so my risk would be lower. And, you know, it could be one where, you know, I might get short and then the market decides it's going to have a big pullback, in which case a small amount of risk with a big move still equates to a really good profit. So you've got to think about your business like that when you're trading. So whilst markets aren't fantastic and an opportunity may present itself, as Dot may do, then still okay to trade it, but just consider the reward to risk. Consider that, okay, you might be Johnny on the spot, you might catch a cracker, but you also have a probability of being stopped out if that chop is to continue, all right? So with that being said, manage your risk accordingly. Just be aware of the environment. You know, you're walking through Africa. You're pretty aware that there are lions in Africa, so you're probably carrying a gun, or you're carrying somebody who has a gun, or maybe not carrying them, but they're with you. They might be carrying you. Solano has broken. This was in my charts. This was in this morning's list. That's what that red dot is. May I? Oh, a little bit funky, getting lower. Look, it's for me here. It's got to move more and then pull back in. It's not ready for me right now. I'll leave it there in that red. I'll get rid of that ready. MTA Meta. No, it's moved, but there's not too much going on here. Notice the chart structure again, a little bit wicky, a little bit spiky. Not interesting. Balancer, super sideways, leaving that. Rooney. Again, it's undecided in its direction. Maker, speaking of undecided, how confused are you? While it stays in there, you can count me out. DMG. Again, you know, a little bullish candle down here that was talked of in my community. But again, look at the chart structure. You know, look at this on the 15. There's just not enough action there. You know, just not enough liquidity, unfortunately, for the time being. I'm sure it'll change. Zcash, again, very much sideways, not interesting. Uni, sideways, not interesting. Avax. This was a little breakout from yesterday. Let's get some perspective here. So now we've got a lower high and a lower low. So what I liked about my watch list this morning, and we'll see also with waves in just a minute because I remember that, was that I had a relatively even amount of potential longs and potential shorts, and that's great when you've got a market that is sideways and undecided, because it gives you options for either direction if when that occurs. So it's nice to have that relatively even weighing of longs to shorts. Now the breakout's obviously gone, but what I've got it on my list for is a potential pullback into that level. A little, whether it's the 4 or the 2. The 2 is going to be a little bit lower. I will keep that in the list. It's going in my yellow, the old King Dog yellow. Phil, Filecoin, yuck. The pink bird, fly, 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 flamingo. 2 sideways. No thanks. Oh my goodness. Sideways. I don't think so. No. Yearn. Anyone know that John Farnham song, Burn For You? Every time I see Yearn now, I think of that song. Silly Craig, Yearn. Look, it's got work to do. Again, reference point in here too. Test. I would love nothing more than to see a little beautiful consolidation for a break there. And the reason I would love nothing more is that, look, it's been messy through here, but it's sitting in a pretty sweet spot. If it were to pop, it could pop goodly, very goodly. And that resistance line's up above the high of this candle here, which is 11%. I break that, we start to get back into the realms of possibility for further upside. It's not going to go into... Actually, I'll put it in the list so that you can write it down at the end and you can note it for possibly tomorrow morning or later tonight, but it's got work to do to get that breakout level. Or pop above, pull back. Waves didn't get the memo. The market went sideways. I had this marked in this morning and I had this marked in yesterday. That level that we are watching there are 2 tests, i.e. resistance. I was hopeful to see it pull back, get a little bullish candle off that on the 2, but as you can see, well, that didn't quite work out. So I still hold out hope that maybe we'll see it. I have to be pretty special to pull back in now and give me the opportunity. But that being said, it's in an uptrend, and I would be open to keeping an eye on that. If for no other reason, it's a good trend. We know it's a good trend. I think it's Lend or whatever, isn't it? Or whatever. Anyway, it's Cactus. No, thank you. Neo sideways. No thanks. Sushi. Higher low, higher high. There is definitely a bit more momentum there. Just have a look at the 4. Yeah, we're flat to convergent. Higher low, higher high. And actually, what I was saying to members earlier was I'd like to see it kind of kick on a bit more. Potentially the 2. Well, if you were to take that, it's gone. It wouldn't have been too bad. I do, like, it's not going to go on the list, but if it moves higher, and this is what I was saying before about if we get the markets moving higher, there's a lot more charts that come into play. Sushi's one of them. It's not going in now, but it's pretty close. Bit more height on that, bit more upside. Helium, yeah. Uni, flat to sideways again, and we're back at the top, so let's have a look at what we got. More than I thought we'd get, more than I had this morning. Okay, exchange, perpage. What was that for? Oh, that's right. That's, again, this is a sort of, put it on the stove, you've boiled it, now just bring it back to a nice simmer, put in a little bit of wine and let it cook down, bring that flavour out. It's got to move on and then pull back. It's simmering right now. It's got to move on and then pull back. That's what I'm after. Add the wine. Of course, shitcoin was this flat level. I'd love nothing more than to see it consolidate into here or break above and a pull back in. Good. Tomo. This was on the 1 with that level. Yeah, Tomo's in play. Betting in play now. Bet responsibly. Pull back into here. Could be good. Comp. The old comp dog. The cyclicity's there. I don't love it on the 4. You do a little bit of maybe divergence there. The 2's much betterer. Again, it's not one that's a clear, if it does this, I'll do this. It's going to require it to do some, make more of an effort. If it does do that, then I'll assess it given the time. But it's a nice trend and I'll keep it there for that reason. And that's the same with VeChain. That candle killed the 2, but it might not kill the cat, the curiosity of a bullish candle there. So I'm waiting for that in the 4. We'll see how we go. Again, not a perfect standout. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh. All right. Support. Want to see it bounce, want to see a lower high. Need to see another test up here. If it breaks, then fill your boots on pullbacks to 5 schmackaroos, whether they're boosters or cradles. Up to you. AVAX. Pull back in. You know, I'm waiting for the cradles. The 4 hours my preference, and that level's my preference, but we'll have to wait and see. Is there support? Yeah, somewhat. Again, not an absolute, you know, mama spaghetti, but it's not bad. Wait and see what it does. Yearn, Johnny Farnham. Resistance, it's got a long way to go. You know, it's got a long way to go, but it's there to be in the back of your mind. If we do see a pop or a further consolidation, this needs to be on that radar as well. It's a good mover. It's got good liquidity, and yeah, it's something that we need to be aware of. And finally, waves. I like the level. I'd actually probably prefer to see this just kick on. Ooh. What have we got in here? Yeah, righto. Well, look, it's got work to do, but there could be a breakout on the cards coming up later in the afternoon. So, you know, another take on waves is the potential for a breakout. 1, 2, need a third, higher lows, but get that convergence in, get the rules met, and we could be on a bit of a winner there, guys. So there you go. That's the watch list. That's the list that I've created. That's the commentary. I'm Craig Cobb from tradercobb.com. This has been for FTX. If you haven't got an FTX account, you are bonkers. In the description below, hit the link, drop it down, 10% off your trading fees. If you want to learn how to manage your risk or go long and short, in the description as well, you've got access to that. Now, don't forget to like, subscribe, thumbs up this thing, and turn on your notifications so that you're aware when I bring out more. As this week, I will be doing another scan and more watch list videos, because last week I was away and I wasn't very well at all. So I've got to catch up on that, and that means more for you for nothing. Have a great day, and if you haven't already, guys, get across to the Trader Cobb website, it's tradercobb.com, and get yourself onto the Become a Trader course, free for a limited time, and you've got to get through it because it will expire. Have a great day. Bye for now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.